Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that your company has replaced half of its workforce overnight. Not because business was failing, not because demand had fallen, but because a machine could now do the same work for a fraction of the cost. For most of modern history, human labor has been the foundation of every economy. Factories, offices, transportation networks, and entire industries have depended on people exchanging their time and skills for a paycheck. But today, a historic shift is underway. Robots are becoming smarter. Artificial intelligence is becoming more capable. And most importantly, the cost of automation is falling faster than almost anyone predicted. For the first time, businesses around the world are beginning to ask a question that could reshape the future of work, wealth, and society itself. If a robot can do the same job more cheaply than a human, why continue hiring humans at all? The answer to that question could define the next century. Chapter 1. The Tipping Point. For decades, automation has quietly transformed the world around us. Industrial robots have assembled cars, packaged products, and handled repetitive tasks in factories. Yet those machines were limited. They were expensive, specialized, and unable to adapt to changing situations. Human workers remained essential because people could learn, improvise, and solve unexpected problems. Today, that reality is changing. Advances in artificial intelligence, computer vision, machine learning, and sensor technology have dramatically expanded what machines can do. Modern robots can identify objects, navigate complex environments, interact with people, and even learn new tasks from observation. What once seemed like science fiction is rapidly becoming everyday reality. Consider modern warehouses. Companies now deploy fleets of autonomous robots capable of moving inventory, transporting goods, and optimizing logistics around the clock. These machines do not require breaks. They do not become tired. They can operate continuously with remarkable consistency. Every year, the technology becomes more reliable and more affordable. At the same time, major technology companies are investing billions of dollars into humanoid robots. Machines designed to operate in environments built for humans could eventually perform a vast range of physical tasks without requiring specialized infrastructure. If successful, they would dramatically expand the reach of automation into industries that were previously difficult to automate. The economics behind this transformation are even more important than the technology itself. Historically, robots were expensive assets that only large corporations could afford. Today, hardware costs are falling. Computing power is becoming cheaper. Artificial intelligence models are improving rapidly. Batteries are becoming more efficient. Sensors that once cost thousands of dollars now cost only a fraction of that amount. As a result, the total cost of operating a robot continues to decline. Meanwhile, the cost of human labor generally moves in the opposite direction. Wages increase. Healthcare costs rise. Employee benefits expand. Training requires time and money. Labor shortages in many developed economies place additional pressure on employers. From a business perspective, the comparison becomes increasingly difficult to ignore. Imagine a machine capable of working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without vacations, sick leave, or retirement plans. Even if the machine requires maintenance, software updates, and electricity, its long-term operating costs may eventually become lower than those of a human employee. This is the tipping point. It is not the moment when robots become smarter than people. It is the moment when robots become economically preferable. Throughout history, major technological revolutions have followed the same pattern. New technologies begin as expensive tools used by a small number of organizations. Over time, costs fall. Adoption increases. Eventually, the technology becomes so efficient that it transforms entire industries. Steam engines changed manufacturing. Electricity transformed production. Computers revolutionized information processing. The internet reshaped communication and commerce. Now, artificial intelligence and robotics appear poised to become the next great economic platform. The question is no longer whether automation will continue advancing. The question is how society will respond when machines become the cheapest workforce humanity has ever created. Chapter 2. The Economic Earthquake. When robots become cheaper than humans, the first impact will not be technological. It will be economic. Businesses exist to create value while controlling costs. Throughout history, companies that found more efficient ways to produce goods and services gained an advantage over competitors. The same logic applies to automation. If a machine can perform a task faster, more accurately, and at a lower cost than a person, the pressure to automate becomes almost impossible to resist. At first, the changes may appear gradual. A warehouse installs additional robots. A factory reduces hiring. A logistics company deploys autonomous vehicles on selected routes. A restaurant experiments with automated ordering systems. Each individual decision seems small, yet together they create a powerful trend that reshapes entire industries. Manufacturing will likely be among the first sectors affected. Many production environments already rely heavily on automation. As robots become more capable and less expensive, even tasks requiring dexterity and adaptation may eventually be automated. Companies that embrace these technologies could dramatically reduce operating costs while increasing output. Logistics may experience an equally profound transformation. Warehouses are becoming increasingly automated. Delivery systems continue evolving. Autonomous trucks are being tested around the world. Transportation has long been one of the largest sources of employment in many countries. If machines assume a significant portion of those responsibilities, millions of workers could face disruption. Retail is another industry vulnerable to change. Automated checkout systems, inventory robots, and artificial intelligence-driven customer support are already reducing the need for certain roles. What begins as a tool to assist workers can gradually become a replacement for them. Yet the disruption will not stop with physical labor. Artificial intelligence is increasingly capable of performing tasks once considered uniquely human. It can analyze documents, generate reports, process customer inquiries, review contracts, and assist with software development. Many white-collar professions that once appeared protected from automation may face growing pressure. This represents a fundamental shift. Previous industrial revolutions primarily automated physical work. The current revolution targets both physical and cognitive labor simultaneously. As productivity rises, society may initially celebrate the benefits. Goods become cheaper. Services become more accessible. Businesses generate greater profits. Economic output increases. However, there is another side to the equation. If fewer workers are needed to produce the same amount of value, where does the income go? Traditionally, wages distributed economic gains across society. Workers earned salaries and spent that money on housing, food, education, and entertainment. Their spending fueled economic growth. But in a highly automated economy, a larger share of wealth may flow toward the owners of technology, capital, and intellectual property. The individuals and organizations controlling robots, artificial intelligence systems, and automated infrastructure could capture an increasingly large portion of economic value. This raises concerns about inequality. A future where productivity reaches unprecedented levels does not automatically guarantee prosperity for everyone. In fact, it could create a situation where society becomes wealthier overall while many individuals struggle to participate in that prosperity. Some economists argue that entirely new industries will emerge, creating jobs that do not yet exist. History offers examples supporting this view. The rise of computers eliminated certain occupations but created countless others. The internet transformed old industries while generating entirely new markets. Yet there is a critical difference today. Artificial intelligence is not merely a tool that replaces one category of work. It is a general-purpose technology capable of affecting many categories simultaneously. The speed of change may outpace society's ability to adapt. Governments around the world are beginning to debate possible responses. Some propose expanded retraining programs. Others advocate stronger social safety nets. There are discussions about taxing automated labor or implementing new systems for distributing economic gains. None of these solutions are simple, but one reality is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. If robots become significantly cheaper than humans, the global economy may experience the largest labor market disruption in modern history. Chapter 3. Society without work. Imagine a world where most people no longer need to work in order to survive. For generations, work has been central to human life. It provides income, structure, purpose, achievement, and social connection. Many people spend more time with colleagues than with friends. Careers often shape identity and define personal success. But what happens if technology fundamentally changes that relationship? If robots and artificial intelligence handle a large percentage of productive labor, society may need to rethink assumptions that have existed for centuries. One possibility frequently discussed is universal basic income. Under this concept, citizens receive a regular payment regardless of employment status. Supporters argue that such a system could provide economic stability in a future where traditional jobs become less common. Critics raise concerns about cost, incentives, and long-term sustainability. Yet the growing automation debate has pushed the idea from academic discussions into mainstream policy conversations. Income, however, is only part of the challenge. A deeper question concerns meaning. Human beings are not simply economic units. People seek goals, relationships, growth, and contribution. Even if financial needs are met, individuals still want to feel useful and valued. Without meaningful roles, societies could face new psychological and cultural challenges. Feelings of isolation, uncertainty, and loss of purpose may become increasingly common. At the same time, automation could unlock extraordinary opportunities. Freed from repetitive and exhausting labor, people might devote more energy to creativity, education, caregiving, scientific research, entrepreneurship, and community building. Activities often limited by economic necessity could become central aspects of daily life. Education would likely undergo dramatic transformation as well. For much of the industrial age, schools were designed to prepare students for predictable careers. Future generations may require a very different set of skills. Creativity may become more valuable than memorization. Critical thinking may become more important than routine analysis. Emotional intelligence, communication, leadership, and adaptability could become defining advantages. Humans may increasingly collaborate with intelligent machines rather than compete directly against them. Certain professions are also likely to remain highly human for the foreseeable future. Healthcare providers, therapists, educators, artists, caregivers, negotiators, and leaders depend heavily on empathy, trust, and complex interpersonal relationships. Technology may enhance these professions, but replacing them entirely is far more difficult. This suggests that the future is not necessarily a story of human obsolescence. Instead, it may be a story of transition. The challenge lies in navigating that transition successfully. Societies that invest in education, adaptability, and human development may thrive. Those that fail to prepare could experience social tension and instability. The future of work may not be about eliminating human value. It may be about redefining where that value comes from. For centuries, human labor powered civilization. In the decades ahead, human creativity, judgment, and purpose may become our most important contributions. Chapter 4. The Global Robot Race. The impact of cheap robots will extend far beyond individual companies and workers. It will reshape the balance of power between nations. Throughout history, economic strength has often determined geopolitical influence. Countries that mastered agriculture gained advantages over those that did not. Nations that led the Industrial Revolution became global powers. The rise of computers and the internet created new technology leaders that shaped the modern world. Artificial intelligence and robotics may represent the next chapter in that story. Today, governments and corporations are investing enormous resources into automation technologies. They understand that whoever leads this transformation could gain a significant economic advantage for decades to come. The United States remains one of the most important centers of artificial intelligence development. Its technology companies continue to push the boundaries of machine learning, robotics, and advanced computing. Massive investments are flowing into data centers, AI models, and automation platforms designed to power future industries. At the same time, China is moving aggressively to expand its robotics capabilities. Faced with demographic challenges, rising labor costs, and global competition, the country has embraced automation as a national priority. Chinese manufacturers are rapidly increasing robot adoption while investing heavily in domestic innovation. Other nations are also entering the race. Japan has long been a leader in industrial robotics. South Korea continues to deploy some of the highest levels of robot density in the world. European countries are investing in advanced manufacturing, automation, and artificial intelligence-driven productivity. The stakes are enormous. A country that successfully combines artificial intelligence, robotics, advanced manufacturing, and skilled talent could generate tremendous economic growth. Industries become more efficient. Supply chains become more resilient. Productivity rises across the economy. However, not every nation will benefit equally. Many developing economies have historically relied on low-cost labor as a competitive advantage. Factories often moved to regions where wages were lower and production costs could be reduced. But if robots become cheaper than workers almost everywhere, that advantage begins to disappear. This could create a new divide between countries that control automation technologies and those that depend on traditional labor markets. The consequences may reach beyond economics. Autonomous military systems, intelligent surveillance networks, and AI-driven defense technologies are already changing how governments think about security. Future geopolitical influence may depend as much on algorithms, robotics, and computing power as it does on natural resources or military size. The robot revolution is not simply transforming jobs. It is reshaping the global order itself. Conclusion. The question is no longer whether robots will become cheaper than humans. That process is already underway. The real question is what happens next. Will automation create a future of abundance where people are free to pursue creativity, learning, and meaningful human connection? Or will it deepen inequality and leave millions struggling to find their place in a rapidly changing world? Technology itself is neither the hero nor the villain. It is a tool. The outcome depends on how governments, businesses, and societies choose to use it. For the first time in history, humanity may be building a workforce that never sleeps, never complains, and grows more capable every year. That possibility is both exciting and unsettling. The future of work, wealth, and human purpose is being rewritten right now. And the choices we make during the next few decades may determine whether the age of intelligent machines becomes humanity's greatest opportunity or its greatest challenge. What do you think happens when robots become cheaper than humans? Will this create a better future or a more unequal one? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend.